I sent follow-up emails for about a 12-month period with no response. Most people would have stopped sending emails after the first, second, third one, thinking, man, I'm getting on this lady nerve. She ignoring me. Not Kenneth. Kenneth continued to send this lady emails saying, you know what? I know you're really busy. If you want me to stop emailing you, let me know. Because my rule of thumb is until you tell me to stop, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep reaching out to you. Hey y'all, it's Attorney Kenneth Stevens, and we're back with another episode of Grind Life. Today I want to talk to y'all about being shameless and practicing perseverance. Back when I started my practice, I was looking at different options for marketing, right? And I'm looking at what am I gonna do? Am I gonna go out and just network? Am I just gonna try to build the brand by, shaking hands or just doing good work? Because the thing about the legal profession is it's real old school, right? And, there's all these opinions about lawyers that advertise and lawyers that put themselves out there in certain kinds of ways. And I had kind of experimented a little bit with social media and seen kind of what it could do, but you kind of have this negative stigma, associated with putting yourself out there on social media as an attorney. People think it's corny, people think it's unprofessional, so on and so forth. So I'm thinking about it, I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? And then eventually, I had some conversations with some folks and they were just like, man, the hell with that. You know what I mean? Get your money, see how you can get your money. And the crazy thing about it is the same way people feel about attorneys, in social media right now is how they felt about radio in the 80s. The cats like the Texas Hammer, John Morgan, I Just Got Hit. Back in the 80s, that would have been just, absolute career suicide. Well, actually, when it comes to the Texas Hammer and John Morgan, back in the 80s, they're the ones who started it. And they did get a lot of flack from, from their colleagues that were saying, oh, this is ridiculous. And there's all kind of court cases where people were trying to block them from doing it. But look at them now, winning, right? So I looked at it like, there's not a lot of lawyers on social media back when I first started doing it. And I was like, I'm gonna take advantage of this. And I was shameless about it and it worked to my benefit. I got on social media, I got on LinkedIn, I started hitting people up, I started putting videos out, I started putting out content. Revenue shot up by 200+% in 1 year. This year, revenue shot up another 193%. So you know what? I look at it like this, I'm shameless with it because at the end of the day, if me doing something that nobody else wants to do or people want to look down their nose at can shoot my revenue up by 200% and I'm not breaking any laws, you can sign me up for that anytime, boss. You see what I'm saying? Now, the other thing, perseverance, because it kind of ties into this being shameless thing. Too often, too many people let what they think somebody else is going to think about what they're doing impact what they do. What do I mean by that? I'll give you the perfect example. I went to a conference back in 2017 in construction law, and I reached out to the general counsel of this really big company. We connected, everything really went well in the meeting. I sent a follow-up email, didn't hear anything back from her. I sent another follow-up email, didn't hear anything back from her. I sent follow-up emails for about a 12-month period with no response. Most people would have stopped sending emails after the first, second, third one, thinking, man, I'm getting on this lady nerve. She ignoring me. Not Kenneth. Kenneth continued to send this lady emails saying, you know what? I know you're really busy. If you want me to stop emailing you, let me know. Because my rule of thumb is until you tell me to stop, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep reaching out to you. Of course, I respect your privacy. So if you tell me not to contact you or not to email you, then I won't. But you got to tell me, because if you don't tell me, I'm going to keep reaching out. Kept reaching out. She finally responds and tells me, Kenneth, I appreciate you following up and I appreciate your persistence. Let's set up a meeting. I'm good, I'm lit, right? Next thing you know, I hit her back, great, let's set it up. I don't hear anything back again for a few months. So guess what I do? I follow up again for like another 6 to 8 month period and she's just not responding, she's unavailable. Finally, she starts responding, but then she says, I can't do it right now. I can't do it right now. So a lot of people again would feel like she's blowing me off. Not Kenneth. Kenneth continues to follow up. At the end of the day, now I've secured that person as a client, that company as a client. They're my largest client. They send me constant workflow. That is what being persistent is about. If I threw in the towel early, I would not have them as a client. My income, my revenue would have been impacted. So again, if you're gonna go into business for yourself, you gotta take that pride, that ego, put it to the side and be shameless. You also gotta know how to be persistent and follow up until somebody tells you no, leave me alone. And always remember that no doesn't mean never, it just means not right now. Anyway, I hope that this is helpful. You all take it and share it, and as always, keep grinding.